know who Jeff Whipple is?
I learned through he called our office. It was on January the 20th. He called our office. I didn't know who he was until he called, and he had said that he was a friend of Brooke Sheridan.
Okay. Now, I don't want to talk about what Mr. Whipple said, but you had a conversation with Mr. Whipple. Is that right?
I did.
Now, following your conversation with Mr. Whipple, did you have an interview with Brooke Sheridan on February 7th of 2017?
I did.
Now, who do you know Brooke Sheridan to be?
She was at the time she said she was the ex-girlfriend of Bo. They had just recently broken up. I said, acknowledged, yes, I wanted to talk to him, that we, based on that he already had representation, I wanted to consult with the district attorneys before any interview, so that's when I consulted with you guys.
When you say you guys?
I mean, Brad, you and District Attorney Paul Bowden by telephone to facilitate a meeting between y'all on that Sunday morning before we talked about it.
In regard to the person referred to as Mr. Fox, is that the attorney here in the courtroom with Mr. Dukes today?
Yes, sir, it is.
Now, with regard to that interview that took place, I believe this was on a Sunday morning, is that right?
Yes, sir, it was Sunday morning at approximately 9:30 at our office.
Now, with regard to that, did you come in, what did you do to start that meeting?
If I recall, yourself and the DA's office people, I'll refer to it as that, is the ones I've talked about with, so it would be Kim, Paul, yourself, showed up before John and Bo. You sat down in the conference room. Shortly thereafter, John and Bo showed up and sat down in the conference room as well. And I said, I understand that y'all may want to have a conversation. I don't know what y'all are going to talk about. I don't want to be a part of that conversation. It's not relevant to what I want to talk about. And then I removed myself from that office and walked down the hall to my office and sat in there waited for you guys to come and get me.
Now, with regard to that, how long was it before you came back in to speak with Mr. Dukes and Mr. Dukes' attorney?
I have the meeting concluded at approximately 10 a.m., so about a half an hour's talk between the two parties, and then I came back in.
Okay. Now, when you came back into the room on that February 19th, did you speak with Mr. Dukes and Mr. Fox at that time?
Correct, briefly.
Right. And after that conversation that you had with Mr. Dukes and Mr. Fox, what did you arrange to do then?
During the meeting or after the meeting?
During the meeting.
Okay. I briefly asked Bo because at the time we didn't know, we had information from Brooke about, another person involved in Ms. Grinstead's death. We didn't know exactly who that person was at the time, so one of the questions I asked Bo is, please give me the name of the person who is the alleged, killer of Ms. Grinstead, and he gave me the name of Ryan Duke, and he said, I showed him a photograph of the orchard. I'd already gone and taken some aerial photographs based on Brooke's interview, and so I had some screenshot photographs printed off of the orchard. He pointed out and acknowledged that that was the same location, that we were in the right area of where this had happened with the disposing of the body. And he said that they had, burned the remains. And at that point in time, we knew that we wanted to go back out there with him, but we didn't have, at the time, it was a weekend. There was a lot of things going on at our office already, so as far as the number of agents that we wanted to have, after consulting with my supervisors, we wanted to have more resources in place to be able to follow up with the things he was saying. So we set up a formal interview with him on Tuesday, which would have been the 21st, at our office at 10 a.m. that morning.
Okay, let's continue then talking about the February 19th discussion that you had with him and his attorney, Mr. Fox. Did you make any promises or threats to him to get him to talk to you that day?
I did not.
Was he under arrest that day?
No, sir, he was not.
After you talked with him at the GBI office on February 19th of 2017, did you arrest him after you talked to him? No,
not. When you say after, when? You'd have to be more specific.
On Sunday, February 19th of 2017, when you finished talking with defendant Bo Dukes and his attorney, did he leave your office that day, or where did he go?
He left that office that day. Where he went, I'm not sure.
All right. Now, with regard to that, did you advise him of his Miranda rights that day?
No.
Okay, and why did you not do that?
He wasn't in custody.
All right. Now, you said that you arranged a meeting with him, a second meeting with him, that being on February the 21st. Let me ask this. Did Mr. Dukes, when you met with him that day with his attorney, did he appear to be under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or other narcotics?
He did not appear to be, no.
Over the course of your experience with law enforcement, have you seen people that have been under the influence of drugs, alcohol, or other narcotics?
I have.
Did Mr. Dukes that day exhibit any of those characteristics that would indicate that he was under the influence?
No, he just appeared to be upset. You could, like, how I would describe to be somebody to be upset, or like, you know, like not mad, or just like maybe sad, or just kind of a little upset.
Okay. Now, I want to direct your attention now to the day of Tuesday, being February 21st of 2017. Did you meet again with this defendant, Bo Dukes, and his attorney, John Fox?
I did.
And where did that take place?
That interview was at the same location where we had met in our conference room at the GBI office in Perry. It was myself, Agent Madison Holland, John Fox, and Bo Dukes.
Okay. Paul Bowden, was Paul Bowden present for that interview?
No, to my knowledge, he was out of town that week.
And that interview, did you advise Mr. Dukes of his rights?
At the beginning of the interview, yes, I did.
Right. And how was it that you would advise Mr. Dukes of his rights?
We have a rights waiver form. It's a Miranda form that we would have, I would have filled out and read to him orally. He would have reviewed it as we're going over it together, acknowledged one of the rights. I'll do some confirmations as to the rights waiver. You know, what's your level of education? Are you under the influence of alcohol or drugs? I can understand, you know, and based on their education, I'll say, if they have an adequate, what I think is an adequate amount of education, I will say, I'm going to assume that you can read, write, and understand the English language. They'll confirm, and then I usually have them read like the first right, which is I have the right to remain silent out loud, just so I can confirm that they can read and understand English.
Did you promise Mr. Dukes anything, hope of benefit to get him to speak with you?
I did not.
Did you threaten him in any way to get him to speak to you?
I did not.
Did Mr. Dukes appear to be under the influence of any alcohol, drugs, or other narcotics on this day?
No, he didn't. I'll just say he appeared to be upset again, similar to the way he was on Sunday.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 31 and ask if you will look at that, please, sir. Are you familiar with State's Exhibit number 31?
Yes, sir, I am.
What is State's 31?
State's Exhibit number 31 is the waiver of rights form that I filled out and read, subsequently read to Bo on that day of the interview.
Okay. Is that a true and accurate copy of the Miranda rights form that you completed that day with Mr. Dukes?
It is.
With regard to the handwriting on this document, State's Exhibit number 31, there's some handwriting at the top of the form. Whose handwriting is that?
Right. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines are my handwriting, and then it goes into he told me that. And then there are initials next to 1 through 5, which are Bo's initials. At the bottom, there's a spot with an X that says name. That is Bo's signature. Underneath it says agent's name. That is my signature. And then underneath that it says witness name, which is Agent Madison Holland's signature.
Okay. Did Mr. Dukes sign that in your presence?
He did.
Did he also sign that in the presence with his attorney?
He did.
Any objection?
Objection.
All right, it's admitted.
Hey, Shoudel, are you able to see that on the screen in front of you?
Yes, sir, I am.
Now, if you will, beginning at the top of that form, if you will, read that for us, please.
Sure, it says waiver of rights, date 2/21/2017, time 9 a.m., place GBI office, Perry. My name is Bo Dukes, period. I'm 32 years old, period. My address is 277 Wood Road. I've completed the 12th grade in school, period. I know that Jason Shoudel, Madison Holland, is a special agent of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, period. He, she told me that, Number 1, I have the right to remain silent with the initials BD next to it. Number 2, anything I say can be used against me in a court of law, period, with the initials BD next to it. Number 3, I have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with me while I'm being questioned period with the initials BD next to it. Number 4, if I cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent me before any questioning if I wish, period, with BD written next to it. And 5, I can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statement with BD initialed next to it. I understand my rights, period. Having these rights in mind, I'm now willing to talk to a law enforcement officer, period. I have not been threatened. I have not been promised anything. I have not been forced in any way to answer any questions or make any statements, period.
The signature that's here on this line where my finger is pointing to the top signature, whose signature is that?
Bo Dukes.
And the signature on the second line, whose signature is that?
Mine.
And the signature on the bottom line, whose signature is that?
Madison Holland.
Who is Madison Holland?
He's a special agent with my office.
Now, with regard to these initials on the left side over here, whose initials are those?
Those are Bo's.
Did he initial those with regard to each of those rights?
Yes, sir.
Did he ever tell you that he didn't understand his rights?
No.
Did he ever tell you to explain any of his rights?
No.
In fact, his attorney was seated there with him when you went over the rights with him. Is that
Yes,
right?
sir, he was.
Did any of them ask you to explain any of those rights or go over any of those rights any further?
No, sir.
Now, in regards to this interview that you did with this defendant, Bo Dukes, on February 21st of 2017, was it recorded?
It was.
And how was that interview recorded?
Video.
Show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 32, and ask you to look at that, please.
Okay.
Are you familiar with State's Exhibit 32?
I am.
How are you familiar?
State's Exhibit number 32 is a DVD-R disc containing interview recordings that we did that day with Mr. Dukes.
Okay. Have you reviewed State's Exhibit 32, that recording, prior to coming to court today?
I have.
And does it truly and accurately represent the interview that you did with Bo Dukes, with his attorney present on February 21st of 2017?
Yes, it is.
Now, Agent Shoudel, I believe there's two different, I guess, tracks, if you will, on that disc. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And so what is the difference between the tracks and why there are two different tracks?
As we finished, we got to a point of the interview where we took a break, and so I paused the recording. It was towards the end of the interview, but we took a break, and I wanted to consult with one of the other agents just to confer about what we had talked about during that portion of the interview, make sure that I haven't missed anything or thought that we missed anything during the interview to ask. We took a break. It wasn't a very long break, and then we come back in. I restarted the interview recording as soon as we sat it down and started interviewing again. It was another short interview, so it's just in two different parts of the recording.
Your Honor, this time I was State's Exhibit number 32.
Your Honor, we would do our objections that were made or Jackson.
All right, this is admitted. Objection is noted.
Mr. John Fox, President of the UV. Today's date is February 21st, 2017. Time is 9 a.m. Obviously, we're at the GDI office here in Perry, and I've taken the liberty to go ahead and fill out the rights waiver form. Mr. John Fox, President of the UV, as well as Madison Holland with GBI. Today's date, time, we're at the GBI office in Perry. Says my name is Bo Dukes. I'm 32 years old. My address is 277 Wood Road. That's in Rochelle, Georgia. I know you graduated from high school. You got some college too, don't you?
Yeah, some college.
Okay. I'm going to assume you can read, write, and understand English language. Okay. You're not under the influence of any alcohol or drugs.
No.
Okay. I completed 12th grade school, and then the Jason Shoudel or Madison Holland are special agents of the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. He told me that. Just read number one so I can verify you can read and write.
I have a right to
Anything I say can be used against me in court of law. I have a right to talk to a lawyer. I'm present with me while I'm being questioned. Obviously, Mr. Fox is your attorney. He's here today. If I can afford to hire a lawyer, want to be appointed a representative before any question if I wish, I can decide at any time and exercise your rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand your rights?
I do.
Having these rights in mind, are you willing to talk to me?
Yes.
I've not been threatened. I've not been promised anything. I can't give you $1 million. I can't beat you. Okay? I have not been forced in any way to answer any questions or make any statements. What I need you to do is sign your name right here and place your initials next to each number. Acknowledging each right. Sign that. What I would like to do is I'm going to just kind of leave it, open the floor to you, and just tell me how it came to be about you knowing about Tara and everything.
Okay. I'll start.
that Saturday night, I was at our house. Ryan was there. A few people came over. We were drinking, and I passed out, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, or actually somewhere early afternoon or something. Ryan woke me up and said that he told me that he had, this was the next Sunday, told me that he had killed Terry Grinstead. I thought he was, I didn't believe him, I thought he was out of his mind. I told him, you know, leave me alone, let me go back to sleep. The next day, I think it was the next day, his brother, who also lived with us, came home and told me that she was missing. And I told him what Ryan had told me that the day before. And he didn't say anything about it, really, just kind of ignored it. I think I asked Ryan again a couple days later, like that Wednesday, after I seen everything in the media going on, and he told me yes, he had. And I didn't believe him. And he asked me to come with him out to the beginning of the truth. And I went with him. And we drove back into the back. And he showed me where her body was. And freaked out, got up. I asked him what the hell had happened. He told me that he had gone to her house that night, used a credit card to get him through the front door lock, and strangled her into bed. And then brought her body to Orchard. But they had stopped in Fitzgerald at a dumpster behind the laundry mat there, and thrown her purse and keys in the laundromat. I don't know if he was trying to put her body in the dumpster too, get to it, and say anything like that. And he asked me to help him get rid of her body, and I agreed to help him. And there was a shelter out there that was full of firewood, split wood and fat lighter. And we used that in my truck and moved her body to the wood area. There was a bunch of wood, and we burned it over a period of like 2 days. Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is Saturday night. I'm presuming this is the same Saturday night that the pageant is going on, the sweet potato pageant.
I believe so.
Okay. And at the time, where were you staying at?
It was a trailer across from the hospital in Fitzgerald, across the street.
In Fitzgerald.
That's right.
You don't remember the address, do you?
No, it's not there anymore.
Okay. Who were you living with there?
Ryan and Stephen.
Ryan Duke?
Stephen Duke, his brother.
Stephen Duke. How old is Stephen compared to Ryan?
I think he's 2 years younger.
Okay. So he's probably 30 now?
Yes.
And you and Ryan were in the same grade together?
That's right.
Okay.
I think there were a few people that came over that night.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. You remember who they might have been?
Yeah.
I mean, you have that inner circle of friends. I mean, that's...
Yeah, it was Bill McMahon. He's dead now.
What did he die of?
Cancer. It was Zane Dill. And I think a girl named Hannah Skeen. I want to say that's the same night that all three of them that they were there.
Okay. And y'all were having like a get together, and you'd been drinking.
Yeah.
And you said you kind of passed out.
Yeah. Or went to sleep. I don't think I passed on.
All right. And so Sunday, you remember about what time it was that you passed out and went to sleep? Or when was the last time that night you saw?
Probably close to after midnight.
So obviously, so Ryan going over there would have been probably early Sunday morning rather than...
Yeah.
Okay. So Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, you remember about what time it was?
No.
After lunch, before lunch?
Probably after lunch. No, I'm not 100% sure about that.
So Ryan woke you up?
Yes.
What was his demeanor like? I mean, was he like in shock? I mean...
Yeah, he was not acting normal.
Did anybody else hear him tell you this?
No.
So it was just the two of you? And he just flat out said, I went to her house?
No, he didn't tell me that until
Later. Okay. He just told you on Sunday, I killed Terry Grinstead.
Yeah. I didn't know what was going on in his mind.
So you just, at the time, you thought he was just kind of messing with you.
Yeah.
But y'all all knew Terry.
I didn't really know. I had a class in high school. I had a contemporary American history class. But no, I didn't know her outside of school.
Okay. Did Ryan know her?
Not that I know of. I don't know if he had a class or not in high school.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's my thing is, I mean, of all the people,
No connection.
why Tara? What's the connection?
As far as I know, he didn't know her.
Did you know if she ever had any other connections with any other students?
No.
Okay, so Monday, so all day Sunday, he just tells you this one thing, nothing else gets said. I know this is thinking back a long time. Do you remember what he was wearing?
No.
Okay. What about the night of the party?
No idea.
All right. So Monday rolls around now. Nothing else gets said on Sunday at all.
No, the only conversation I had, I told Stephen what he had told me that day.
You told Stephen.
I don't think it was until Wednesday until I asked him about it again.
Okay.
That was that Wednesday.
So what was Stephen's reaction to it? I mean, you just told his brother said he killed somebody.
Disbelief. He just ignored it.
Like he might have already known?
No, I don't think so.
But
but I don't know if they had any conversations about
I
it.
mean, were they close enough? Would he have helped him?
I don't know.
Have you ever had any conversations with Stephen since then about this?
No.
Okay. So Monday rolls around. Did you hear about? When's the first time that you heard the next thing about Tara?
From Steve.
So he came to you that Monday?
Yeah, that Monday afternoon.
And what did he tell you?
That she was missing. And that's when I told him what Ryan had told me.
Okay, so you didn't tell him on Sunday, you told him on Monday what Ryan had told
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
I just want to show you these. All right. So you tell him you tell him what he told me. You said he was in somewhat disbelief, kind of like the first time he's hearing about this, you think?
Yeah.
And then nothing else gets said until Wednesday.
Right.
And by this time, there's probably 100 GBI agents already down there, a lot of law enforcement. Y'all are seeing these people, right?
Right.
And that's when you start going, okay, maybe there's something more to this, what he said.
Right.
And so you confront Ryan again
Yes.
at home?
Yes.
Okay. Was anybody else there?
No.
When did you, was this like daytime, nighttime?
Morning.
All right. And tell me that conversation again.
I asked him what he meant the other day when he told me he had killed her. And he said that he had. And he said, I'll show you. And
So you did it again that he killed her? And then he said, I'll show you. So you load up in your truck?
that's right.
And you were driving that F-150 at the time, that white one?
That's right.
And I guess it's, you don't have that truck anymore or anything like that?
No, it was total in 2009.
Okay.
And Ford Stewart.
Okay. So he's driving, you're driving?
He's driving.
And so he drives you out to the orchard out on Bellsville Highway?
That's right.
I know I showed you these photos, I went ahead and printed some other photos up again. This is the same orchard, correct?
That's right.
I guess that's better.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, just kind of like we did the other day, I guess we'll use this picture since this one seems to be the closest. Just
This one.
okay. Draw me just put on there when he took you out there, where did he park the car?
It was over here in this area, maybe even a little further down.
Okay.
Everybody was laying.
And the little shed you're talking about right here is.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the pond. So I guess it was, alright, so I guess it's probably right around here.
Okay.
And everybody was laying right on the side of the orchard.
Will you do me a favor, draw a icon, like a little rectangle where the vehicle was parked?
Around here. Well, it was probably in this first row.
Okay. And then where the other icon is here, this is where you're saying where the light was? All right. he takes you to this orchard, and is the body covered up with anything? Is it clothed?
No, it was not clothed at all. And it wasn't covered up with anything. It was laying face up in some knee-high grass.
Okay, but you could like just see it unless you, I mean, if you were walking by, you'd see it, but like just, like if you were parked over here, you probably couldn't be able to see it, right?
Okay, no. I mean, but if you were, it wouldn't be too far away, you could see it.
Okay.
I mean, maybe 2 rows over.
And you said it was laying face up?
Yeah.
Did you know who it was by looking at her? The body?
Yes. I mean, he'd already told me who it was, so I guess I was already expecting that, but...
And you had her for class still resembling her?
Yeah, I mean, it was discolored, I mean, I guess blood had pooled, there had been ants on her.
Was there any other marks or scars or anything? Gunshots, knife wounds?
Marks on her neck.
Can you describe the marks on her neck?
Almost like bruising, I guess. Not extremely noticeable, but they're there.
Were there like lines or anything like really distinct? Okay. So by this time you're probably freaking out.
Yeah.
Okay. So you immediately see this and you're like, what in the hell did you do?
Yeah. And why the fuck would you do it here on my family's big orchard? I mean,
What did he say?
help me. That he messed up and he needed my help. I was angry.
Is that when he told you what had happened?
Yes.
Go through that again, tell me.
I asked him exactly what had happened. He told me later that night, after everybody had gone, after I was asleep, he drove to Fitzgerald, drove to her house, and he said it was late, very late, that night. And he had used a credit card to get in through the front door. He jumped on her while she was in bed and strangled her right there in her bed. And then he had moved her body with a truck, I don't know, in the front seat, the back seat, or
Your truck?
Yes. He was using my truck. He didn't have a vehicle at the time. And then he had driven back to Fitzgerald, but stopping at that dumpster behind the laundromat.
Okay.
And then to the orchard. He had only been there a few times. I'm surprised he hadn't found the place.
Okay. So she strangled her, killed her on her bed, and then loaded her body up in your truck? Did he say anybody else helped her?
No.
He stopped at a dumpster. Behind the laundromat in Fitzgerald?
Yeah, right on 129.
keys and purse?
Sure.
Anything else? What about clothes?
I can't remember what he said about the clothes. Whether he had left them at their house or brought them. I can't remember exactly.
Describe for me a little bit more of this laundromat. I know you said it's on 129. Where exactly are we talking about here?
If you're coming north from Osceola, you pass Burger King, Sonic. It'll be up on your right. There's a little strip mall with a Verizon store and a Subway. It's that laundromat. It's in that strip mall. I think he had a...
Right there behind like the White Horse and Pizza Hut?
right after that. Right. I think he had an aunt or some kind of family member that either worked there or owned the place. Right?
Okay. And he never told you why he did it? I mean,
No, he never.
why her?
Never said why or
I mean, even to this day, he's never disclosed why?
no.
Okay. So he stops at the laundromat before he goes to the orchard. Keys, purse, maybe clothes, we're not sure. Then drives to the orchard. You said he's only been there a couple times. So, I know you said before that I guess y'all used to throw parties out here.
I told him like one.
Okay.
Two before, maybe two. Sure. A couple years before.
Okay, so that's why you're really even more surprised because it's been a couple years since you've been out there.
It's not like we went out there very often.
But I mean, he's familiar with the area. Y'all grew up together, lived together.
Yeah.
Y'all may have even been riding up and down Bowensville Highway, and he knows.
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay. I'm gonna write on this truck body. Now, at some point, obviously you didn't burn right here, you moved it to another location.
Right.
Where about on this is, just put an X where you think that location is where you're gonna take us today.
I think it's right about here.
So it's back a little ways.
Yeah.
And were the parties thrown back here?
Nah, I think I built a fire, right?
I'm just gonna put a fire pit, and we'll use that as the area.
I'd have a party about right here.
Okay.
This pond at the time, like, shrunk down, so I built a fire and a edge of it.
What about this area? I mean, obviously this is now, and so these trees are grown up.
Right.
Were there trees here then?
It was wooded then too.
Was there any worry of like catching the rest of the woods on fire or something, or was there already something there kind of, did y'all go to like a hollow area in there where it wouldn't burn or anything? How did y'all manage the fire?
Didn't really, there wasn't like a holiday or anything. I think it did end up catching some woods on fire the next day.
Did anybody ever come back to you and say, hey, was anybody out there, do you know if anybody was burning or anything?
My uncle did one time. And asked me, Randy Hudson.
Okay.
A couple weeks later, he asked me if I had a party that day because the fire had gotten away from somebody.
Okay.
Later.
And that's Randy.
Yeah, I told him that.
You told him, yeah, we had a party.
I told him that. I didn't know anything about it.
All right. So, new body, no clothes, not sure where they may be. She had ants on her. she had some discoloration, like blood pooling, like she'd been there a little bit.
Yeah.
You're freaking out, you're mad, he's probably begging for help at this point.
Yeah.
Why you?
I was the closest person to him. I mean, I don't think, and it was already here. I mean, if it was already on my family's place, I think he thought I would be more likely to help in this situation.
So you did help him. You moved the body from here to here?
Yes.
Would that be loaded in the back of the truck and drive down and
Yes.
carry it into the woods?
Yeah, you could drive right to that spot then.
Okay. Like, kind of like, right. Looks like there's a discoloration here where you split road or something.
Yeah, there's a trail and there was another trail that branched off too. I'm not sure it's still there.
You can pretty much go out to the area,
I
can't you?
so, yeah.
I mean, you can pretty much go there and go, yeah, it's probably right in that little 5-foot area.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Then, so if you put the body here, y'all drive back to that shed, load up the wood and the,
Truck.
yeah, I'm thinking the other type of wood, the
Fat wire.
fat wire, and then drove it back over there, piled the wood on top.
That's right.
So you basically, you said it took a couple days. Did y'all like light the fire, burn it, leave, come back, or did y'all just stay out there and watch it burn?
It was left and came back a couple times.
And each time it got a little bit less of the body, a little bit less of the body.
Yeah, we could add more wood.
You can still, after the first burn, you can still see
Yeah.
the body,
Yeah.
just kind of like charred.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, was there any like jewelry or anything on her that you remember, or was it just completely new body?
I think she was wearing a belly button ring.
Okay. Remember what it looked like?
Not really. No.
Like diamondy or blue?
I think it was just plain.
Do you remember if it was on the upper half or the lower half of that belly button?
I don't remember.
Any other jewelry that you can think of? Any tattoos? Anything like that? Okay. So you said it took several days,
2 days.
2 days. So by Friday, there's nothing left
No.
that you can, I mean, nothing like, there's probably some little smaller bones or stuff like that y'all just kind of left there.
It looked like it was all ash. To me.
But y'all were like kicking the pile and trying to find other things, y'all just left it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming at this point, I mean, it's not like a sports victory, you know, y'all are high-fiving and you know, what conversations are taking place at this point or during all of this? I mean, what are y'all talking about?
I can't remember a whole lot about it. I remember asking him, you know,
More details?
several times why, and he, you know, never could never tell me. And just don't remember a lot of our conversations during.
It seems kind of random. It seems to me like you probably had something going on with her that y'all didn't know about.
He did. I didn't know about it.
We never hit it around afterward that there was anything. Okay.
I never heard of them having any kind of relationship before.
Okay. So to this day, you still don't know why he did it?
No. I asked him if he was there to rape her, kidnap her, and he said they did not, and did not.
Have you ever asked you to do this before?
No.
Or since?
No.
Did he ever say that he kept anything from her?
No.
Okay, so it's all done. Y'all leave. I know at some point there was a separation, y'all moved.
We moved to another place in Fitzgerald before then. And then,
So after this is, okay, so we're in October
yeah,
when this is all happening. So now we're moving after this, y'all moved.
right,
Where did y'all move to again?
to a house in Fitzgerald. I think off Merrimack. I'm not sure about the name of the road there. It's also not there anymore. It's been torn down.
All right. And then, so I mean, at this point, this investigation is going on. I mean, there's no doubt that there's searches going on, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, any more conversations about just keep your mouth shut kind of thing? We're just going to keep our mouth shut?
Yeah.
So when we go to talk to Ryan, I know that he's contacted you on Facebook. Has he contacted you anymore since Thursday?
No.
And that was just like a, hey, how you doing? Or was it something more specific?
No, it was nothing to do with this. It felt like he was just kind of filling me out to see if I would mention something about this.
If he thought that you had told me, do you think he would tell me, come off of it?
Maybe.
I mean, this has been weighing on you, and this is one of the questions I have. I mean, why now? I mean, he's insane. I mean,
Yeah. He might. I don't know if he's ever mentioned it to anyone else.
like his brother.
Maybe. I don't know if they've ever spoken about it or not.
Okay. All right. Remember when I interviewed you back in June, I asked you about this soldier that you had been in the military with.
Yeah.
When he came home and y'all were riding around, I think your conscience is one of the reasons why you have a conscience and you have some feelings. And this has been bothering you for a long time. I think it was bothering you then, and you told him.
I don't remember the conversation I had with him. It's certainly obviously.
I mean, he said exactly what you just told me, that you burned the bottom.
I don't remember the conversation with him, but I guess we're probably drinking a lot that night.
More than likely, you told him?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, this is just a simple question, but why didn't you tell me then what you're telling me now? I mean, you had the opportunity to tell me if there was anything else that you think is important for me to know, or when I got your DNA.
Been keeping the secret a long time. Yeah, I guess I didn't think it was time yet.
Have you ever been on any of the message boards when Terry went missing?
No.
And they're trying to give any like hints or something to add conscience or anything? Okay. And most recently, you've told somebody else.
Yeah.
What you're telling me? Who was that?
Brooke Sherman.
Who else? Anybody?
My ex-wife.
Who's that?
Emily Stillman.
When did you tell her?
2008 or 2009.
What did she say back then?
She was surprised. My friend Dustin Troglin.
Troglin?
Troglin.
Troglin.
I think he also used his last name Warren. I think he just changed it for some reason. I don't know.
They all live local?
No, Dustin lives in Portland.
Oregon?
Yeah. Emily lives in Cameron Mills, New York.
Cameron Mills?
Yeah. I told two guys a couple months after it happened, one night, Reese Jones and Cliff Benson.
What were they then?
So
You still have to get in touch with all those people? You have phone numbers for them, stuff like that?
some of them.
What about Emily? I'm sure you probably still. Could you give me that number? Let's just go through all of them. I mean, obviously, you know, I've talked to Brooke.
Yeah.
Okay. I told her to tell you that I talked to you, and we're talking to her.
And then we're 607
Mrs. Emily, 607
438
438
0976.
0976. Dustin?
Nine
971
269
269
5649.
5649. About Reese or Cliff?
I think I got Reese's number. Two 402 8750.
Okay, and that's Reese.
That's right.
And you told, you said you told Emily in 2008, 2009. When did you tell Dustin?
2007, 2008.
And then Reese,
It was probably that same time period too. It was in Korea.
and then you said in Korea?
That's right. It's before we got married.
And then Reese, you lived right after it happened?
Yeah, it was a couple months. I told him one night they mentioned to someone else, and that person asked me, and I denied it to them.
Who was the person that came and asked you?
It's Hank McMahon.
That's the person who passed away?
No, that's his brother.
Okay. Ben, says Ben's brother.
Yeah.
makes sense why, when we've gotten a lot of information about some of this stuff, that kind of makes sense why we were hearing that back then. Because you had already put it out there because you're conscious of you. Okay? Anybody else ever approach you about it?
I think that's it.
Okay. Who was, besides you and probably his brother, who were the closest people to Ryan in your circle? If he's going to trust somebody besides you, who would it have been?
A lot of people, really. Maybe Reese and Cliff. No, maybe not.
But I mean, you told them their response was what? Of shock? So.
Yeah, they thought I was making it up.
Okay. All right. So we're talking today. Why are we talking today? You didn't want to disclose it then. You feel like now is the best time?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm ready to end this like someone. I'm tired of living like this. But,
It's been bothering you a long time?
yeah.
Affecting you, everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's stuff you can't even tell a therapist. And then it's like, you have issues and you want to talk to somebody and you can't tell anybody shit like this. I mean, it's fucking...
Because you've been wanting to talk about this for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go into other things that just happened in your past, but some of the things, the drugs and maybe drinking and stuff has probably been a cause for some of this, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of like a snowball that's just been rolling downhill on you. So if I were to go to Ryan and we sit down and we start talking and we get his DNA, I know that we've collected some evidence on the scene from Tara's house that has DNA. Do you think any of that's going to match? Did he ever talk about using gloves or?
I asked him about the gloves. He told me that he didn't use gloves. And so.
Yeah. Did y'all ever go back by the house?
No.
Even on the next morning, do you know if he went back by the house? Got him some help with something, or maybe check the scene out, make sure it was all. Did he ever revisit the scene that you met on? Or?
I don't think so. That's all right.
Okay. Did he specifically say he never used gloves?
Yeah.
Or is that just something you were thinking? You specifically asked him that at that time.
I asked him.
When did you ask him that? Because that wasn't something that didn't come out until a lot later down the road.
I couldn't tell you that. It was sometime after it came out, then.
Okay.
Obviously.
I mean, the glove didn't come out until 2009, 2008, 2009.
I would have been waiting for it then. No, this was that year, 2005 or so.
Right when it happened.
So I must have just asked him if he was or something.
Okay.
Because until last year when he messaged me, I hadn't spoken to him since 2007.
Okay. So you haven't spoken to him. He messaged you, said about a year ago?
Yeah, last March, I think.
And what was the...
It was just, hey, how you been?
Does he have a phone number that you know? Do you even know his phone number?
No idea.
Okay. So the last times he's got in touch with you was past Thursday, which today is the 21st, 20th, 16th of February, and then before that you said it was about a year and a half before that?
It was, I can almost tell you. Because he messaged me and a friend of ours the same night. And she messaged me the next day, March 9th. So, March 8th.
So March the 8th of 2016?
Yeah.
And that was Facebook also?
Yep. He was messaging her that night too. You might want to talk to her.
What's her name?
Benja Luke. Benja Kendall Luke.
Y'all went to school together with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen her. You guys are... And I'm just going to show you a picture. I know this is talking about the same Ryan Duke, right?
Yep.
That's him now.
Looks like him.
Big difference.
So,
Looks like he's carrying a lot more stress and pressure on him for the last 10 years than you are. Doesn't it?
could be.
I mean, that's a big difference, ain't it?
Yeah. Well, these are all touched up. Except for mine.
Right there. Right next to him.
Holy shit.
Same people though, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Long time ago.
Yeah.
Alright. And before that, the last time you talked to him was 2007.
That's right. It's right before I left for Korea. I'd come home for a month, and I met him one night out at his parents' house in Pueblo.
And that's the address I had was still at Pleasure Lake. So do you think he's still living out there?
I have no idea. I asked him the other night, he didn't tell me where it was.
Okay. I think his parents' last name is a little different. I think his mom's last name, but they were divorced.
O'Neill.
Yeah.
That's his mom, Karen O'Neill.
Okay. Just so I can go back and I'm just trying to go back to what Brooke seemed to indicate to me too. She said that one of the reasons why you never said anything back then too was because Bobby Connor, which is your uncle, he was the principal at the school. He was messing with Tara too. Was that rumor or something you knew of?
Rumor, I think.
Okay. But that was also one of the reasons why, because this is family property, you didn't want the family name.
I thought it was possible.
Okay. Does anybody in your family know now?
No. Whoa. Oh, shit. My cousin Willis. I forgot about it.
Okay. You told him way back then too?
I told him one night, I don't know how many years ago. Thank you.
Willis
Connor.
You know how to get in touch with Willis?
229-457-1782.
And you told them you think when again?
I couldn't even tell you a year. Maybe.
The guess is on
10.
Okay. What was his response? Just
Who's this? That's all.
let me ask you this: with all these people that you told, why do you think they never came forward?
I don't know. Everybody wants to be involved in this, I guess.
All right, so let's go back to, y'all moved to that house on Merrimack. From there, you went where? You went to Atlanta at some point?
Yeah, I went to Atlanta, stayed up there for most of the summer that next year. Before then, I started working for the city of Fitzgerald for a while, and I went to school at East Central Tech for like a semester, and then I moved to Atlanta for that summer, and came back that fall, joined the Army in November.
Where was Ryan during this time?
I never saw him.
You knew you were in the military?
Yeah, it was before.
Because he went 2000, they went from 2004 to 2005 he was going?
Something like that. I mean, I know he was in there only for a short time.
That's what I'm saying, so when he got back from the military, that's when y'all moved in together?
Yeah, I think so.
You know why he was only in the military a short time?
He went AWOL or something. I'm not 100% certain about it.
I mean, they usually charge you for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they usually just, you go back and you spend like a couple days in detention, they cut you loose. The Army doesn't really want to.
They just kind of discharge you.
For somebody that's been in that short amount of time, yeah.
Do you think he's ever done this to somebody else?
Fucking up.
It's a long time.
Think about it.
Do you know where he was stationed at when he was in the service?
Benny, I think he was going after school, I think. I don't know if he ever finished that. I think he had a RASP in his contract too, so I don't know.
For what?
It's pre-ranger school. But I don't know if he ever made it there.
Okay. So you don't think he ever, just because of the short amount of time he's been there, you don't think he ever went beyond?
No, I don't know if he ever made it there, too.
Okay. Moving forward and talking with Ryan, I mean, honestly, understanding you probably knew him better than anybody else then. How do we go about talking to him? How do you feel that we need to approach him about this?
Every time that I've talked to him, from Thursday and then from a year ago, he seems totally out of it. I mean, the guy I knew could speak full sentences with grammar. This guy, every time I talked to him, he was all over the place. And I could only talk through messaging, but it doesn't seem like the same. I mean, just the syntax of this writing seems different than if there was. He was a smart guy back then. He was obviously, he seems like a different, just from the small amount of time of will off, it seems way off.
Do you think this has been weighing on him like you?
I don't know.
Do you think he's ready to, if he gets confronted, do you think he'd be willing to try to do the right thing?
I think it's possible. Maybe if you had overwhelming evidence, or if he knew that I was.
That's my point. I mean,
Maybe.
you're the overwhelming evidence.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
So I'm saying, we go to him and we say, look, we talked about it's time. You think at that point he's going to know?
I don't know.
Or do you think that it would be more advantageous for you to try to talk to him, message him, you know, convince him to do the right thing?
Maybe. Honestly, I think if you went down, he's probably going to ask. He's probably not going to speak to you.
That's what I'm thinking. And that's what the worry is. We want it. Right now is your word against his. We're trying to find everything we can. I mean, obviously finding parts and stuff like that, if we can, is important for your side, obviously, but we need to bolster his involvement as well. How do we do that?
Like if I kept talking to him, I think he already thinks something's up.
Right. And that's what I'm thinking is you go to him and, you know, GBI's talking to me, what the hell are you doing? Are you trying to flip it on him? Are you trying to set me up? What are you doing? I've kept this thing quiet for this long, and now all of a sudden the GBI's coming to talk to me? Are you snitching on me? Are you telling what we did? I helped you, and now you're trying to screw me over?
That could work.
See what I'm saying? We're going to flip it on him and see what his responses are. Usually when you contact him, is his responses pretty quick?
I've never contacted him. It's always been.
Like he never responded. You responded to him Thursday, but no other response beyond that?
Yeah, no.
Okay. So if you were, I mean, obviously your only mode of communication with him is through Facebook Messenger.
That's right.
So when we leave here, if you were to Facebook Messenger him and go, what the hell? Just like we said, do you think he would get a response? Is he working anywhere that you're aware of or anything?
Not that I know of. I mean, the extent of my knowledge is he's on Facebook Messenger. I don't know where he's at, or he's.
Okay. Somebody who got rid of anything else that belonged to her, or kept any trophies?
No.
Okay. Other than her purse and keys.
That's it.
Anybody else that you can think of that is, what about anybody that was close to him, like a girlfriend? Did he have any girlfriends, or anybody ever mentioned that was close to him during that time? Or?
He was dating some girl from Tipton at one point, but I can't remember her name or anything.
And this was during all of this time too, or?
No, it was more of an off and on thing, so maybe. I can't remember her for anything.
that you can think of during that time that y'all were living together? Anybody else that was close to him?
His half brother,
Who was that?
James O'Neill.
I'm assuming that's his mother's or the stepfather's son.
Yeah.
Do we know where James is staying at now, or where he might be?
I don't know.
Does his parents, as far as you know, still live out in Pleasure Lake?
I have never heard of him moving, but I don't know. I can't tell you.
You've been out there though, right?
Yeah.
To Pleasure Lake? Another picture's kind of shady, but Ben Ray.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 3 buildings out there.
Yeah, that little shack with a shed in the front, and then there's a house to the left.
Yeah, and a house to the right.
Okay. And that's kind of like a little, I'm gonna say family compound, but that's all family.
Yeah, I think so.
You've revisited this site
Yeah,
many times, haven't you?
yeah. I mean, not out there. I've been, yeah. I used to have to spray the orchard last summer.
Tell me about that.
Fucking sucks. Terrible. Scary as fuck out there. It's dark. Oh, and the tractor out there at night. And then I went out there to work one time.
Was that last month?
Yeah.
Brooke mentioned that you spent about a week out there at one point in time in your truck, I guess, as his afterward.
Yeah.
Just trying to find some sanity.
Something like that. I think it was like 3 days. A week.
You want forgiveness, don't you? Okay. Is there anybody else you can think of that knows, has known, anybody else you've told? What about Ryan? Does Ryan ever say that he's gone back out there to you after the fact? Or
Not to me.
do you think he has?
I doubt it. It'd be tough to explain. Him being out there.
So if we tell them, we've got agents out there where everything happened, those already talked. We're going to give you an opportunity to, if you feel comfortable, to do what we said. I think that's, I don't want to go to him and him turn around and go, shit, I helped Bo do that crap. I didn't do that. He's the one that did it.
Right.
Because he's got the same knowledge that you have as far as what happened.
Right.
He's the one who used the credit card. He's the one that threw a person keys away. I mean, anything that you can think of that we can use to show, and I believe you 100%. I mean, you're the one here talking to me. not him. So I'm not worried about that, but I've got to prove it too. It's not what I know, it's what I can prove.
Right. Beyond getting him to say something to me, I can't think of anything.
I mean, and would he even say anything on Facebook Messenger? Would he say, we got to meet?
He might say we gotta meet.
Okay. Would you be willing to meet with him if you had like a recorder on in your pocket or something, or a recorder on your phone or something going and record the conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. You okay with that, John?
Yeah. I'm fine with that. You're fine with it? Yeah. If he already knows something's up, I mean,
That's what I'm trying to flip it on.
yeah.
That's the only way I can, if he thinks something's up, and I think he thinks something's up because he would have messaged you out of the blue.
Yeah.
So who else has Brooke talked to? You know, you've talked to Brooke. Well, I know she's talked to somebody else because that's how I got the information.
Well,
No, one of her friends too.
okay. It could be. You could have found out from anywhere.
All right. I mean, especially with this case, you know,
Yeah.
it's like a fire. I mean, I hate to use that terminology, but it really is. It burns anything and everybody up around.
Do y'all have any idea about where he's at? His
I mean, I've got an address, but it's Pleasure Lake.
You haven't like seen him?
No. I mean, I've only known him since Sunday, so.
Yeah.
And clearly, you know, I've been there since then.
I'm worried about going to see him and put a bullet in that or something.
And trust me, that's my issues as well. Or we show up and he does something to himself or stand up, and those are things we've got to worry about. If having a conversation face to face is another story, if that goes,
Yeah.
you know, we'll try to do it not at his house.
Right.
You know, find a place that's secure enough to where we can have agents close to be, you know, maybe even have your phone line open and we're listening to the conversation as you're having a conversation. You know, we can be like a backup team ready to go. Should anything kind of turn a little sour, we can be there instantly.
He would be careful about this. I mean, there's no way I would probably be able to have a phone on. I don't.
I mean, you know, there's
ways, I guess.
we have bugs. I mean, we can put a bug on you that we can listen to actively.
Yeah,
Stuff I'm saying. Which is what I'm saying. We can go and interview him today, or we can pause for a day or so, start working on this, and have you work on him, and see where we can go. We lose nothing in waiting a day or two to give you an opportunity to talk to. I mean, while we're on the way down to Fitzgerald today, I mean, he could message you back, and we could start working this afternoon. I mean, it's that simple.
Let's give it a shot.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else that I have left out that I have not talked about that you think is important moving forward in this? Any minor details, toenail polish, fingernail polish that she had on at the time that you could see? I mean, anything. And you're certain it was Tara, beyond him telling you.
I'm certain.
I mean, did she appear, I mean, this is Gregorian Hunt, did she appear to be shaved?
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that? Her
Yeah.
vagina area was shaved.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there was a little hair there, not completely shaved.
Okay. No other scars, marks, or anything that you remember seeing? You remember seeing the blood pooling? Was it on her front or was it on her back?
On her back. And like, I don't know, there was ants all over.
But there wasn't any blood on the outside. There was no,
No.
just the strangle. You said said strangled.
Yeah, discoloration.
Did he ever say what he used?
His hands.
Okay. But no other bruising like he punched her or anything, just strangled her.
No, it didn't look like that. I mean, everything looks sort of weird. I mean, I've seen dead bodies since then, but nothing after, like, it's been sitting outside for 5 days, so it looked, just everything was kind of like slipping and looking.
When y'all were moving her, was there any bursting of the body or anything like that? She stayed intact?
Yeah.
And I know you said you've been out there. Have you been to that location since then? To like look around or see if there's been any?
No, just that one night with Brooke, and then you couldn't see anything. It was pitch dark.
Okay. The night you went out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, she said that you got out of the car and walked in the woods. She didn't go.
Yeah. It was too dark to see.
Okay. Beyond, what you talked about, is there any other motivation that has moved you to do what you're doing now? Just trying to move past it in your life?
I guess it's always bothered me that her family never knew to. And just for her, it's fucked up. I mean, it always has been.
I mean, she never did anything to you other than be a teacher, or probably to him as well.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of wondering what his motivation was.
Me too. I mean, he had never spoken about her before this. I mean, it's just completely out of the field, yeah. I think he just knew, it could have been anybody. I think he just knew that she lived alone and knew where she lived.
And you said you used a credit card to get in the door.
Yeah, some kind of card.
Okay. She was asleep on her bed, you jumped on her bed, while she was asleep and strangled her.
That's right.
Is it possible that he could have had some sort of relationship or secret romance or met her at a bar? And y'all frequented like white boys and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is it possible you met her at the bar and you're not aware of it, or they had some conversations?
It's possible, but I'm not aware of it.
Okay. I know cell phones, the way they are now, is a lot different, but did you have a cell phone back then? Did he have a cell phone back then?
I don't think I had a cell phone back then. I think he might have. I can't remember if I had one or not.
I mean, was there ever an occasion where you were out doing whatever and ran across her, ran into her, saw her, had any conversation with her, even at a bar or grocery store?
No.
Okay. When did you get back from the military?
I got out in June of 13.
Have you lived out on Wood Road the whole time? Since then, or?
Oh, prison thing. Be out since then.
All right. Anybody else you can think of, that any other brothers, cousins, uncles, nephews, friends that you've disclosed anything to besides the ones you've already said?
No, I never said anything to my brother or.
Does Hannah and Zane and his brother, McMahon's brother?
Good.
Yeah. Do they still stay around those area? As far as you know?
Ben's dead.
Yeah, I'm not saying his brother, the one that.
Hank?
Hank.
Yeah, he's around there, still somewhere around there.
We're taking a lot of notes here. Wes? Wes still
He was in Atlanta.
Hank. Did you ever know Ryan to carry any weapons or use weapons? Pocket knives, always carry a pocket knife or other kind of guns or anything that you ever saw or any other kind of weapons back then?
He never carried a gun, or I don't think he ever really carried a knife either.
I mean, have you ever seen him act out violently towards anyone before, at a party, drunk, or anything like that?
Never. Never seen him get in a fight with anybody.
Never seen him lose control? No ex-girlfriends have ever come forward that you've heard of say anything to the contrary or anything?
No.
Well, like I said, I know that y'all's contact has been limited. Do you think that that contact has been limited because of this?
Absolutely. I didn't want to talk to him. No.
Okay. Is there anything else you can think of? Any other details? Do you want to take like a 5 or 10 minute break and then
Yeah, let's take a break.
I'll go outside and get a good bathroom and we'll come back in? Or?
Before we continue on, let's take a short recess. Members of the jury, if you'll make yourselves comfortable in the jury room, we'll take a short recess.